Alright, guys. Keep in mind this is a retake because the first time I tried to cover too many topics into one, but I ended up with a 40-minute video, which, well, it's still technically badass, it's maybe a bit too much information at once. So instead of talking about kiting in general, we're gonna talk about pacifist kiting only. That means you make no aggressive moves. Pacifist kiting like a boss. Alright? So, many times when I play as Jason, a chase is as much as 10 seconds. See him, break the door, next shift grab, he's dead. So, I don't want you to die within 10 seconds for free. I don't want you to be free. So this is what I need you to do. The moment you're spotted by Jason, I want you to consider yourself dead. Firmly believe that you are at that moment a walking corpse. Okay? Now this might sound a bit weird, but I need you to be in the mental states where your moves have no stake. Because, at any time normally you do a move to survive, right? So that means you're literally putting pressure on yourself because you're saying, okay, if this move fails, I die. But if you already consider yourself dead, that move has no cost. So you don't hesitate, you don't make mistakes because of pressure. If you have no pressure, you're less likely to make a mistake. That is why I want you to consider yourself dead, so your mental state is in peak condition. Now, how first thing you need to understand is Jason, that is like the most important thing. Jason can only enter a house through a door. It's very simple, right? But it has a lot of implications. That means he cannot airdrop from the sky into the house. He cannot teleport into the house. He cannot morph through walls. He cannot climb through a window. The only way for Jason to move past the door is to break said door or open it in case it's not locked. That means now imagine you're inside a house. Of course, you're at this point only a walking corpse. Jason has appeared and he's already teabagging you. What do you do? Well, first, as he breaks the door, you stand behind the door and flicker your flashlight. Plus, ask him if he is ready and has lots of time to spare. Now we do this, of course, for two reasons. The first and most obvious reason is, to engage in battle, honorable 1 versus 1 combat, but you put the pressure on him, right? Like, you're agitating him. An agitated opponent does more mistakes. Does more mistakes. The more pressure you can load onto him, the more likely he is to fail. And he can't put any pressure on you because you consider yourself dead. See, there's nothing you can lose by doing that. Now, having said that, since Jason can only, come to you towards the door, they will also usually break the windows. You want to kind of have a kiting setup ready to go, which would be, since we're talking pacifist, the best pacifist setup is firecracker. Actually, also the aggressive variant. Pocket knife, healing kit. Plus trap doors. Okay, you have that. This is how it's gonna go. So now he breaks the first door. If you had a trap inside that house, you would have placed it right behind that outer door. That means the moment he steps in, he's likely to be trapped. He can avoid that, but most of them can't right now. They don't know how. If you're watching as a Jason, combat walking over trap in combat stance avoids its effect, and also shifting over it. Shifting over trap. That's his counterplated trapdoors. Now what you do is he's broken the one door, hop through window regardless if it's broken or not. Hop slowly, hop slowly. Through window. Sprint to next house. That means as he's breaking down the door, now of course you also have to plot your route to the next house, okay? We will talk now about good houses and bad houses. Bad houses are very simple. They have one door. Especially bad if windows are only close to that one door. Let's paint one. Like, you know, these things. So we have a window here, a door here, window here. Now usually the single door houses are segmented. Possible window here, possible window here. Okay, it's not a, this back section is usually a bit shorter. Possible door here. Now, if this window is closed, right? This whole area is dead to you. Because the moment Jason is inside that spot, you're not getting out. Even with pocket knives, you're not getting out of there alive if he doesn't want to. Because he can just stand in here, you know, and body block you and any attempts. Literally, if he stands in the door and you pocket knife him, he's still standing in the door and you cannot pass him. Alright, so that is a very bad segment. Now, let's say only this. Okay, we said this is a window, this is a door, right? So if this window here is open and this one, if the moment he breaks the door here and you make your heroic dash through this window, all he does is press shift grab, you're dead. That's why you want to go slowly through a door, through a window. The reason is the fast vault leaves you on a side for a very long time, right? So he has time. If you go through slowly, you can at least try to hop back because most time you spend on the first half. On the first half, he's not going to be able to grab you. So if he shifts grab, if he does this, you can probably still make it in time with now a quick dash through this. You might get a hit in, you know, but at least you will survive. But what you really want to do is, if you're in such a house, you want to make sure your stamina is as full as it can be. You stay in and you make him come inside as you make you go for the door, and then you sprint to the next house, right? You go through the door to not stay in any weird lock. Oh, well, I can keep it there. No, I can't. Just remove bad houses. Good houses. That's what we like. Have 2 or more doors, more outer doors. Have several inside doors. And several windows, of course. That's the houses we like, and there's many of them. All the special yellow houses, for example, are very good houses by definition. So, let's paint my favorite house. It goes something like this. Has a door here. Maybe this. I will try to remember to do this kind of curved ones for windows. Has a window there. Has windows maybe here, 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 here. It's all possible. They could be close after all. Has the second door is somewhere here. Has a segmented corridor, right? Something like this, with 2 doors like this, which you can close. Right, literally being a house inside a house, right? And then I'm not 100% sure, but usually it's I'm not quite sure how the end segment looks like, but it's something like this, which has then again 2 doors here. It's the best house for aggressive kiting, but it's also very good for pacifist kiting. Now, Jason breaks this door, right? You are here flashlighting him as he does, and then before he finishes, you casually walk, for example, to this little window. You keep this door open so he doesn't get any ideas to break it down, right? As he is here, you do your little slow hops through the window. Now he has to go all the way back. He can't really attack you with shift grab, right? If the window is broken, doesn't matter, it's just a little bit of damage. Then you go back in. Now you can, for example, close this door, you know. As he breaks it down, you open this door and position yourself at this little window here, right? And keep using that until all doors are broken. These here, so maybe I should take a second. These are tricky doors. Keep them open because they will try to, you know, force you to a side. So, for example, if you close this door behind you, right, and he comes this way, it's gonna, like, if he shifts, you're dead because you cannot open and then close the door fast enough. If it's open though, you see the shift, you run through the door and close it, and then he comes out of shift with the door to his face. So you keep doing that, and then your goal is ultimately to reach, you know, to go out to next house. Many newbies, for example, say, "Oh, Blair's Cove, it's such a death sentence." For example, you know, Blair's Cove, the 4 houses at the bottom left from the beta map. I'm not quite sure what was the name, but technically, you know, before all the doors are broken and all the windows are broken, it could probably take him 10 minutes to achieve that. What you have to keep in mind though, there is a danger moving from house to house, and that is the shift grab. Well, we talked about the shift grab, right? Now, that's what, like, let's put it from my perspective, right? I break down this door like here, and you jump out that window, I will instantly shift grab, and because, you know, shift grab is how it is, I can't go like this. I have to go like this. Well, technically I could also go like this, but I have to go like this. But then you have to do your little Z shake, which we talked about. I taught you already how to avoid a shift grab, and then you casually move to the next house, where this is happening again with the door. Right, and then you could technically go from that next house, you could come back in here, hop through this window, close these doors. Now he has to break one, you go out, go back to the house you came from. Now, and if you're looking at Blair's Cove, I mean, there's many examples, but a lot of newbies consider Blair's Cove to be so deadly and stuff. Well, being kited is indeed deadly. It is deadly because of a different reason. Not because Jason is there, but because you cannot reach. Like, let's say you're here in Blair's Cove, right? That is these little four houses, of which three are considered good houses and one is a bad house, if I top of my head. Then you have the cemetery here. Cemetery, useless to you. You know, this is all dead space, no houses there. You have the road here. You have the river here. Then you have somewhere here. You have the bridge. And then you to the right you have two more houses here. And the only other thing where you could buy time would be the barn, okay? So while it's not a problem to stay alive in this sector for 10 minutes, the problem is to go from here to the next sector, since at best you have a full stamina bar. Now you can technically do that, right? But you will likely be intercepted, like you will end up in a grab at least once. Not the end of the world, but that is the reason Jason is deadly, no? As long as you have houses, he's a joke. But as soon as you run out of houses, he's not as funny anymore, you know? Then suddenly he's like the real deal. But not necessarily. Like, if you buy enough time and then suddenly someone is driving around with a car, I'm nah. Well, if you do pacifist kiting like this, maybe he doesn't hate you enough at this point to let the car go and kill you, you know. But I can guarantee you're probably still making good XP because if you oh no, you're pacifist kiting, so well make sure to at least hit him once with the flare gun. How do we go from like the safest way to go from sector to sector, and then we will talk about stamina. How to go. Sector to sector. Well, two stunts are needed. And preferably, one of them is a broken grab. And you're like, what, are you crazy? Why would you want me to be grabbed? Well, the reason I want you to be grabbed is because getting out of a grab means that you are have an increased stamina regeneration the following seconds. Okay? So what you do is, if you have a pocket knife, a grab break is not that hard, right? You literally all you need to do is get grabbed. But the second thing is, if you see like the most professional way of doing it is you sprint as much as you can. When you have no stamina anymore, you stand your ground, right? Oh, no. You're gonna do it wrong if I tell it like this. You are going to jog for a very long time until he shifts. The moment you see the shift, throw firecracker. And stand in it. Now he has two choices. Either maybe you didn't even notice. Maybe if he grabs you, you are freeing yourself automatically. No, depends. Most likely he's not even gonna be able to get the grab through because the firecracker is already active. If it isn't, it will definitely become active, you know, as he grabs you, therefore you're breaking free and all is good. Then second option is to use your pocket knife. If it's one of those Jasons that loves to only hit, what also gives a stamina boost is simply going into combat stance and blocking his hits. Why not, right? It doesn't cost you any stamina, it might break your weapon, but you're getting extra stamina regeneration from it, and then you can just sprint away and then laugh it off later with the healing spray that you have. And this is how you go from sector to sector. It does involve, unfortunately, a bit of battle. And so also, I want to talk to you about what is stamina? What is stamina, right? It would come in handy. You will see it in a bit different light after that. Stamina is the resource. Oh, I hope I write that wrong. Resource you spent to increase your distance to Jason forcibly. Jason is a bit faster than you. Yeah? I mean, the basic way, what I just showed you is actually mathematics, right? I'm gonna show you. Okay, I'm gonna show you why it's mathematics. Now let's say you are here. Actually, this time around, we're gonna make ourselves points. You are here. Jason is here, right? Shortest distance is going straight. That's the shortest distance. But this is if you are now considering houses, suddenly his way becomes something like this. You are at the window here. He is here. Let's say even the door is here. So his way is suddenly this, while your way, your distance you traveled is only this. Hop through the window. And boom, you multiply his distance at no cost. This is not where stamina is involved. Now we could of course do the Pythagoras, like how do I have to draw the window that it's actually Pythagoras? Oh yeah. Yeah, of course. Haha. Back to school for you guys. Now, let's assume you hop through a window here and go there, right? Now you have this distance covered. But since you went through a window here, let's... No! Okay. Let's say this is a window. This is a window here. You hop through and you walk this way. Now he has to go to the door and this. And we already know that this is longer. You could actually calculate it because this is a hypotenusis, right? And he also like if this is want to calculate this, huh? Want to calculate this? Let's go. Let's go. Huh? He has to go C plus A while you only have to go B. Huh? Huh? We could go. No, I'm just kidding. We're not gonna fucking calculate it for you before you start shooting me. But we could. We could. But stamina is a resource. You do it without any windows, right? So if you're here and Jason is here, that is a perfect distance. As long as you're outside of grab range, it doesn't matter, It doesn't matter. It's actually better to be close to him than further away because what happens? What does a Jason do if he is here and you are here? Well, he is gonna fucking teleport somewhere here, and then all this is wasted stamina. If you just mindlessly sprint away from him, you give him a reason to morph. If he morphs, he he destroys your investment into distance. That is why you would rather be close to Jason, because then he cannot morph, because he's likely to end up even further away from you if he morphs, right? Also, a shift grab in close range is harder than like this shift grab would be harder than a shift grab on this distance. Okay, because if he does it like here, you do go into your Z shake, right? But he has to literally make his decision very, very quick. While here, he starts doing this, and you start shift grabbing like this, he has more room to work with to do a curved slingshot. If he does it like here with a curve, that's still difficult. Okay, so stay close to him. The reason, the resource. So now we can talk about jogging. To wrap it up, I don't want to end up, this is a huge topic, so I could probably spend another 40-minute video talking about it right after this. Jogging is faster than walking than walking Jason's, top of my head, or roughly the same speed. Like then, it's fucking very fucking efficient, fucking stamina efficient to give you, if you really like, do it one game. Go to the south of a map, regenerate your stamina, go into jogging, and go north. I'm pretty sure you can do it in one bar. I think it also has less chance of making you stumble. Less chance of stumbling. Now, meanwhile, sprinting is it's very fast. It's indeed faster than running. Jason's as well. So see, like, and then this means Jason will never get you without a shift. As long as you have stamina, he will never reach up to you. So don't fucking freak out, right? He's not gonna get you. Because at any moment, as long as you have stamina and he's getting too close, all you do is press shift and boop, you're fine again, you know? And it's not very efficient in terms of stamina. Higher chance of stumbling. Now, since I wanted to keep this short, I think I will conclude here. The next, like if you have any more questions, you can always post them directly into the video. I will give you an answer right there. So you will be notified, and the rest of the knowledge I will put into aggressive kiting, where you're actually attacking him inside houses as you go through, and then you're invoking stuns, you're invoking more time to regenerate stamina, you're digging more salt, you're demasking, you're preparing the kill, stuff like that. But to put it all short, right? Like maybe another what you can do, if you're ready in the house with full stamina, right? Then you could also go outside and do one lap with Jason around the house before you hop back in. Simply then you're waiting behind the door while your stamina is regenerating, okay? But don't be afraid. Go from house to house to house. Sprint if you have to, right? But always make your battle plan. Okay, I'm in this house, the next house is to my right. So once that door breaks, this is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to go there. Prepare your mind for during the traveling distance to avoid the shift grab. If you have problem with shift grabs, look at the video I have posted. It will explain to you. Like, honestly, I'm getting hit maybe within 14 hours of play. I get hit 3-4 times with a shift grab. It's just not happening that much. And usually, and like, sometimes you can't do anything. But consider yourself dead. Buy as much time for your teammates as you can. Like, hopefully they fix a car and get Jason to go back, or they failed skill checks at the phone box. If Jason plays for victory and is not a salty bitch, you will go after them then, and then you will go to the next sector. And that way, you have, both earned a lot of time for your teammates, protected them while you were kited, and you're safe yourself. Okay, that should be it. I hope I'm not over the 20-minute mark.